Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back into the Buster Show podcast. On today's episode, we have Hall of Famer Tracy McGrady. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Appreciate it, Buster. Thank you for having me on your platform, brother.
First things first, we got to talk about OBL, One's Basketball League. I know you're excited about it. How did this idea originate? Obviously, you've been a great one-on-one player your whole life, but where did this come from?
Well, there's a lot of inspirations that came with creating this. One being that I have two sons that are 16 and 13. My boys don't sit down and watch NBA games with me. They don't sit down and watch NCAA games with me. But they will bring me highlights from YouTube, TikTok, and all these, social media sites and short form content. They don't have the attention span to sit down and watch, a full game or even a half with me. So just taking that, they bring these YouTube highlights with guys playing in the park. 4-on-4 basketball starts out like that, but then it turns into one-on-one. And I was looking at this like, wow, just seeing the energy that was created around this, like, this is incredible. So getting it from my kids and my AAU program, these guys play one-on-one at every practice. That's all they talk about. They ask me questions. Hey, T-Mac, who went out of you and KD? Or who went out of you and Kobe one-on-one? Like, I get it all the time, right? And then even on social media, you see, guys posting that who will win out of one, in a one-on-one battle. I see it all the time. So that was inspirational on this decision. And another, I kind of, where I am today is why I'm building what I'm building. And I'll explain why. I was a junior in Arbondale, Florida, and I was playing spring football. And basketball was actually my third sport. I was a baseball player, I was a football player, and basketball. So I'm playing spring football. Basketball, I'm averaging like 23 and 12 for my junior year. A guy comes from Ocala, Florida, and I never met this man in my life. He gives me an opportunity to go and play at the Adidas camp. Never heard about it. I've never been to any camps. I'm just in my little own world in Arbondale, Florida. 10,000 population down there. And I don't think anyone outside of Central Florida knew who Tracy McGrady was. So he came with this opportunity. It was like, I'm inviting you to this elite camp with the top high school players in the nation. And I was like, cool. So he had to pull some strings to get me into the Adidas camp. I got the jersey number 175. I'm the last guy invited to this camp.
That's crazy.
Right? And then I obviously, the history. I go through the camp, come out, I'm ranked number 1. But
you were ranked number 1 after the camp?
I was ranked number 1.
Holy.
I was ranked number 1 high school player in the nation, bro.
That's got to be a record or something.
Man, so but what I say all this is there are plenty of guys that came before me, right? That was extremely talented. And I'm talking about from my neighboring area where I grew up. They didn't get this opportunity that I got. Somebody discovered me and gave me this opportunity to play on a national level, right? To gain that exposure. That's what I want to do here, man. I want to give guys that didn't get the opportunity to play in the NBA or go across seas and play, but they still can play a high level of basketball to where you and I can appreciate and sit down and watch a one-on-one battle and notice that, man, this dude got skills. And we could appreciate that. So I want to give these guys a platform to, number one, tell their stories, because I know they have some great stories to tell. And two, just give them a platform to live out their dream, really, of being noticed, being ranked as a basketball player, maybe even get the opportunity to play on a G League team or in the NBA because of the platform that we're creating. So I take, UFC platform, for example, and I talk to this about everybody, to everybody. It's like the Conor McGregors and some of these guys that are in, most of these guys that are in UFC, I didn't know who they was before they got on UFC platform. Did you? Right?
And they probably wouldn't have been prize fighters either.
Exactly. So in UFC, built these guys up to who they are. So now, we can appreciate who these guys are. But it's the same with basketball, bro. There's some talented dudes out here, untapped talent that I want to discover to be, on our platform and make stars and learn more about them by telling their stories.
I love that. And I love the UFC example, because that vision of enabling all of these athletes to take their brands so much further beyond that is so exciting. And we've seen it time and time again. And that's what new leagues have to try to do. So is your long-term vision, every person in this league, beyond the great content that could come out of it, and the snackable bite-sized stuff that a lot of
listen to that, you with the language, bro.
Younger
The language,
generation
okay.
loves. Is your vision that all these guys have platforms to be able to then do whatever they want, and it credits back to that league?
Oh, for sure, for sure. And I won't pigeonhole anybody that gets the opportunity to go to a G League and have that dream for them come true. But more on a bigger scale, I think 3 to 5 years where I want OBA to be, I want it to be a global league. We don't have anything. Like, I want OBA to be in Africa, in Asia, in the Middle East, to where we identify, if we get our structure right here in North America, we could then license that to other countries to identify who's the ruler of the court. That ruler of the court in that country and all of these countries, now we could create our own Olympics, right? So we got the guy from the US.
That's creating a new Olympics over here. I love it.
Listen, bro. Listen, man, with the resources that I have behind me, and the masterminds that I have, the reach that I have, it's possible. And that's what I'm reaching for. I'm reaching for the stars, bro.
I love it. And I agree. I think, when you think about big sporting events, right? You think about like that are single time events. One, you think about fighting, you think about Usain Bolt in a track race. These moments are there like that. Yes. And then people watch them on social media. But if you can create something that's short, but that's the entire thing.
That's where we're going with that. And the Gen Z generation, this is the era that they grew up in. It's social media, TikTok, and
right.
The social media, and it's quick, short form is what they gravitate towards.
Oh, man, I love that you're doing it. I got an interesting question for you next. 13 points in 33 seconds. I got something fun for you. You averaged 40.8 minutes per game in that season in 2004-05, if I'm not mistaken. Do you know how many points you would have scored in that game if you had rounded that number up to the average minutes and you ratioed the 13 in 33?
You know what? That's crazy. That is an interesting question.
Over 40.8 minutes. I have the answer for you.
Nobody has ever asked me that question, and I don't know the answer to that. So, Buster, please lay it on me.
Your mind's going to be blown, because my mind was blown. 964 points.
What?
Here, I'll give you, for all the math nerds out there. So in 40.8 minutes, there are 2,448 seconds. So you would multiply that by 13 and then divide that by 33. You come out with 964 points.
That's insane.
You're almost 10xing Wilt Chamberlain's all-time record if you were to scale that out.
That is insane, brother. Wow.
You're somebody. Did I lose your video? Oh, there we go. You're somebody who could score whenever they wanted. Are those sorts of records something that you ever thought about? Like, did you ever?
No, I've never thought about it. When I just being in the moment, man, I don't think about that. I didn't think about it. I just tried to be, the best I can be. And when I felt like it was one of those nights, I really tried to take advantage of it.
That is a conscious thought, though, capitalizing when you have the momentum.
For sure. It's not like I was going for it. You
Right.
know, but I'm just staying in the moment and seeing how far I could take it.
Is one-on-one something that, let's say contract legalities aside, should be an event at All-Star Weekend?
Yes, but I think you got too many guys that want to protect their brand and
Right.
will be afraid to go and play on one-on-one because maybe they get embarrassed. And if you face somebody like a Kyrie, oh Lord, you're gonna be shaking in your boots. So I don't think, and it's crazy because I mean you gotta be a confident player to play in the NBA. But when you take away somebody that can help them, they're not as confident. So yeah, I don't see all the guys getting into a one-on-one battle. The elite guys, Kyrie, yes, he's not afraid of anything. But some of the other guys, I don't think so. They will look at the roster and find out, okay, who's in it. Oh, Kyrie, that's like that's like me getting into the slam dunk contest with Vince. Like, come on, bro. I know what you could do. Why the hell I'm gonna get in there and just to play second or third? I don't want to compete against you. Like I'm not. I could
Yeah.
dunk, but I don't have the hops and the creativity as you. So it'll be that same situation.
Is that why you think guys aren't competing in any of the All-Star Weekend events these days?
It's either that or, maybe they want some extra bucks, or they want to take advantage of it being a break.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, I can understand the break part for
Yeah,
sure.
for sure.
NIL. This is something that is brand new, has never existed before. Nothing like it has ever existed before.
Right.
A lot of the big schools are panicking and the college kids are very happy. What is your thought? And, if you were approaching college as you, how would you approach NIL and how would you think about it?
Well, I'm definitely looking at, whatever school that I am considering, NIL money has to be topic of conversation, right? Because if I'm good enough to go straight from high school to the NBA, I do want to have the college experience because that's what I grew up watching. And when I was younger, I mean, college basketball, especially when I was in high school, college basketball, I think was at its peak,
Right.
with the Michigans, the UCLAs, and, those teams back then in the mid 90s. So for me, that will be topic of discussion and depend on, what type of money that I can get or what type of deals I can monetize off, determines on my decision of going to college or going straight to the NBA. But, when I was in high school, I signed a $12 million deal with Adidas. Would I be able to do that? If that opportunity came to me for an NIL deal to go to Kentucky, I was going to go to Kentucky. I would have went.
Wow.
Yeah, for sure.
That's interesting. So do you think the effect will be college basketball getting better?
No, because I look at some of the talent that's in that overtime league. That's some,
Yeah.
that's some really good talent that will be missing out on the collegiate level. But I think the NIL deal is good because I mean, even when I was in high school, man, and I'm walking around with a Jalen Rose #5, Michigan jersey, the gold one, and I'm seeing the impact that these guys have on the culture, and they're not monetizing off of any of that. Like, that's not cool. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad these kids are getting their just due because these universities are banking off of these kids and what they do on the basketball court. But yeah, I think for me going back, it would have been a tough decision depending on how much money I could have received.
At the end of the day, optionality is a great thing. And it's cool that there's the G League, there is overseas, there is, the overtime league, there are these other opportunities soon. guys over 18 can play one-on-one in Tracy McGrady's league. There are a lot of cool things, and optionality at the end of the day is the best. So it's good to see that things are progressing in the right direction.
Absolutely. I love college basketball. I don't know what's missing. This year was really good. This college basketball season was really good because there was a lot of underdogs that beat some major schools, and I think a lot has to do with the portal. A lot of these guys go into the portal, but I don't think a lot of these kids that are seniors right now going into their freshman year in college, how difficult it's going to be for them. Even the kids that are in high school right now and pursuing colleges. If I'm a college, I'm a college coach or recruiter, it's tough for me to go and scout high school kids if you're not a phenom, because I could just go into this portal to where I can go and get a 22, a 23, 24-year-old player and add him to my team, who's much more mature, much more experienced, who I can rely on to be a professional, than to deal with a 17 or 18-year-old kid. So college is getting, for high school guys, it's getting tough, man. It's getting really tough.
Yeah, that's a super real thing. I have a super specific question for you. You were one of the few players that had custom wristbands. Who made those? Was that you that made them? Or was it the league? And did you have to apply to get them? Because only a couple players had them, and then no players had them after that until recently.
Yeah, no, Adidas. I had Adidas make it for me.
So those were all custom made by Adidas.
All custom. Yeah, what was crazy, I had a big bag. I got a big bag before every season of different colors from Adidas. Yeah, I had them make them.
That's crazy.
Some fans noticed that I was wearing the wristbands, and then they made me some as well. And I'll wear some, on certain occasions throughout my career. But yeah, Adidas made them.
That's pretty cool. A buddy of mine told me that the only way you could get one was if you gave it to them.
Yeah, that's real. That's a real thing.
That's so funny. Did you keep like jerseys and shoes from your career? You gave it all away?
I gave it all to my friends and some to my family. Yeah, I wasn't a collector.
Have you ever been a collector? Or are you a collector now?
Never been a collector, but the times we're living in now, I regret it. Hey, I admit I regret it. I did. Yeah,
you did. All right.
That industry is booming like crazy right now. So to have some personable items, oh man, and to come off of that is just, who knows what, the value of that.
It's pretty nuts. Somebody told me too that, or in Orlando, they made you wear the same jerseys over and over and over again. Is that true? You would wear the same jersey for like an entire season?
Pretty much, yeah. But I didn't care about that. That didn't bother me at all.
The only reason that matters is because there are barely any. The value of those, somebody told me, I was like,
yeah,
they're what?
Yeah. No, hold on, let me turn this on. Yeah, I'm sure that is a big buck.
Well, we're gonna need some Ones basketball memorabilia when that drops.
And we're creating it all.
We need some cards. We need some NFTs. We
everything. Yes.
Need everything.
Yes, we're creating it all.
I love it. Now, being a part of a Rockets team that sort of changed the entire NBA in terms of its global reach, like Michael Jordan was one thing, but Yao Ming was a totally different animal in terms of taking the NBA to another level. What was it like being a part of that team and seeing it sort of happen in real life?
Well, I could just tell you this. I can tell you about his impact. We played Milwaukee in a regular season game, right? Not a preseason game. Or maybe it was a preseason. No, it was a regular season game. We played Milwaukee. And they had Yi Jillian. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing his name wrong,
I
but they
remember.
had
Oh, 07 draft pick. Yep.
So we played them, Buster. There were more people that viewed that game, were watching that game, than the Super Bowl. That's what type of impact. Yes, that's what type of impact Yao had. Crazy, bro. Over 250 million people tuned into this game. Crazy numbers. So to go, and that was just here in North America. To go to China with Yao in 2004 or 5, I think that was, bruh. He is a mega star over there. I thought I was big in China, which I am, but it's nothing compared to Yao. He's like the god.
Did you guys ever talk about sort of the pressures that come with being considered the god by multiple nations?
No, we never had that conversation. I knew the pressures, but he and I never had the discussions about it. But I saw it because I think my first time ever going to China was like 1999, right? And basketball over there wasn't as popular in those times. So I seen the evolution of basketball in China. And man, when we became teammates, it was a different beast over there. I mean, you're talking more, kids play basketball than we have in our entire country.
Yeah, those numbers are so like confusing to think about. But when you went over and played in China, did you see it? Like, was it become apparent? What perspective did that give you on like basketball as a whole?
Dude, I sold out the CBA. When I announced that I was going to play in China, I sold out the CBA. So all the bus rides that I was going from different cities to play, it was like Michael Jordan showing up to every city and people waiting outside, thousands of people waiting outside the arena.
How did that make you feel?
Oh man, it was amazing, bro. Cause I grew up in Central Florida, 10,000 people. And, to make it to where I was at that time was just such an incredible feeling, man. I was so grateful and thankful because it gave me my love for basketball back. You got to think, this is after I had my microfracture surgery and I wasn't T-Mac no more, right? So I wasn't being celebrated for 4 years. I wasn't being celebrated like I once was when I played for the Rockets and the Magic. So to go over there and feel appreciated and get that celebration back, it did wonders for me and my mental, because I was so devastated 2009 when we got run our test when I was with the Rockets. And I had arthroscopic surgery, right? So I thought just, having that simple surgery was going to help my knee. I'm going into training camp. I'm happy. I'm like, yes, I finally got the team that I want to advance in the playoffs and potentially be a title contender. I'm not healthy. My knee is gone. My knee is dead, bro. I never could get it. I tried to play on it, but I think I got to like January. We were in Milwaukee and I got a fast break and I'm going and somebody was trailing me. So I know if I was to lay it up on the same side I was on, it was going to get blocked. So I tried to go up on the other side and dunk it and I got hung. I couldn't jump off of my left leg. I got hung. And from that point on, I was like, I'm done. I shut it down. And that's when everything just went left, man. It just went downhill for me.
And then you went to China after that?
No. Then I got traded. I had to get out of Houston. I got traded to the Knicks. This is when, traded to the Knicks.
Right.
That. And then when I finished with the Spurs, No, it was before the Spurs is when I played in China. Because when I got home after playing in China, I was home for like 2 months. And I came out of church and Coach Pop called me. He left voicemail on my phone. I was like, oh, what's this about?
I should listen to that. Yeah.
So, and he told me they had some bodies that were down and he needed a body and just come on down. And, I was like, Pop, man, I've been on the couch for 2 months, bro. I'm not in shape. It's like, don't worry about it. We'll get you in shape. So that's how that started.
That's pretty cool. So I'm a Knicks fan. I wanted to ask you about your time at playing at Madison Square Garden. And, that was an interesting team. You had young Nate Robinson, you had David Lee, you had
Was Nate on there? Was Nate Robinson? Oh,
he's on the roster when I checked, third year, but it's possible that was wrong.
I don't think Nate was on there.
So who else did you have on that
It was
squad?
like Al Harrington, David Lee, Bill Walker.
Did you have Gallinari on that team?
Gallo was on there. Duhan. I don't think Nate was on there. Told a funny story.
Yeah.
So I was extremely excited, right? Because I'm ready to get the hell out of Houston because of the stories that they put in now just created this narrative about me, right? And I was pissed. Like, I'm done with Houston. Get me out of here because y'all lying on me, and I know how it goes, right? Know how it goes. Get me out of here. So I get traded to the Knicks. I see the roster. I'm like, okay, all right. Go in the locker room, talking to Al, like, yo, bro, like, man, we can make the playoffs, bro. Let's do this. Al looked at me like, he started laughing as if like, bro, we ain't making no playoffs, bro. You don't even know what you just got into.
Oh, bad. That's unfortunate.
So about 5 games in, bro, about 5-6 games in, I saw what he was talking about. I was like, man, we ain't got no chance of making the playoffs here. It just, that culture wasn't right, man. It was a bad culture, man. But great people around that organization, made some pretty good friends, but I don't know. It's just something about that organization, bro.
And as a Knicks fan, I'm not gonna lie, it hurts. It hurts, but hey, nothing you can do.
What are you gonna do?
But yeah, we need I need a new person to root for in your league to suffice for my unfortunate Knicks fandom.
I hate it for you, man. I feel your pain, bro.
So I wanted to ask you about this. I saw you talk about it in a few years back. There was almost a trade that went down. Scottie Pippen and the Bulls. You guys had a secret meeting, you and the Bulls. What was discussed in this meeting?
So I'm in my bed, sleep, draft night. And the night before the draft, I get a call like midnight. It's my agent, Arn Teller. It's like, get up, get dressed. We have to go. Go where? He's like, Jerry Krause has scheduled a physical for you. I was like, what? So they got a secret location that they drove me to, went in the back of a clinic, took a physical, and he was like, he's about to trade Scottie Pippen for you. I'm like, what? I'm blown away, bro. And I think I woke up the next morning, he called me, it was like something about Michael Jordan, put an end to all of that when he got wind that what was going on. But Jerry Krause was obsessed with me, bro. Whether it was being drafted or when I became a rookie, a free agent after my third year in Houston, Toronto, sorry. He was just doing his best to try to get me to be a Chicago Bulls.
That's so wild that you were just thrown into that whole interesting mix. I don't know what else to call it with Kraus and Pippen.
Yeah, like, come on, man, don't put that type of pressure on me, bro. I mean, that's
Right, right.
winning championships. You want to trade Pitt for a rookie? And I'm not gonna lie, I'm glad it didn't happen because I wasn't ready for that.
Yeah, that would have been a lot of pressure. It would have been harder to
A
develop.
lot of pressure, and who knows the trajectory of my career after that, which way it would have went. Like, nah, man.
Right. Because all of a sudden, like what normally happens to a top draft pick is they go to the worst team in the league. And now the expectations are zero. And anything they do, the fan base is pumped, you know?
Yeah.
So that would be the opposite of that. And therefore the expectations would be 100 and you would be letting people down instead of hyping them up, even if it's the same output on both ends.
Yeah. Yeah. And then when I became a free agent, what was that, 1999, 2000 season? They flew me in, wine and dine me, but like Toronto, like Miami, they were competing against Orlando, which was home. You know, as a kid, I used to drive by the arena. I used to tell my mom all the time that I was going to be playing in a Magic uniform there. So when that opportunity came, that's what they were recruiting up against. They had no chance.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Who are your favorite guys to play against? Either when you first got into the league or in your prime. What matchup were you super excited? Was it Mike, Kobe? Who are the LeBron? Who are those guys that you're excited to play?
All the names you just named: Mike, MJ, Kobe, Bron, KG, Paul Pierce, Vince. I love playing against AI. AI, love going up against him because it was just it posed a different challenge. You know what I mean?
Right.
But one that I really, really embraced and loved was Ron Artest because I know his mentality and how he approaches the game.
Mm-hmm.
And he always takes those type of matchups personally, and he make it a point to try to shut a great offensive player down. So it was a battle within a battle with us. So I love those challenges in those battles.
Do you have a favorite game from your career?
Nah, not really. No. I mean, I've had, the game when I scored 13 and 35. I had a game when I scored 52 and 3/4. I had a 62-point game. I had in the 62-point game, I missed 9 of my last 10 shots.
That's
I missed 9 free throws, and that was very uncharacteristic of me.
So
Yeah.
you had 18 and 9, you had 27 to 62. You're looking at a lot of, 62 is insane. I was at my favorite game that I've ever been to in person was at the Garden when Melo scored 62.
Yeah.
That was a Garden record. Where was your 62?
Orlando.
Oh, that must have been super special.
It was, yeah. I mean, we were a terrible team, but that brought some excitement to the crowd.
Yeah. What do you think you would average in today's game, given
Somebody else asked me that earlier.
The defense and the play?
You meant the lack of defense?
Yeah, the lack.
I think I will do. Listen, I averaged 32 in a tough defensive era. I will add another 8 points on that because I would take more threes. I got to the free throw line, so I think I know I would at least hit 2 or 3 more threes. I would have made 2 or 3 more threes. Yeah.
So 40 a game.
38 to 40.
I believe it.
38 to 40.
What type of mentality does it take? And how do you, sort of two questions. A is, not that many people were in your position of stardom, especially in your prime in Houston and, in Orlando. When you have that much attention and that many people that love you and that much adrenaline constantly, even when you were in China too, uh, how do you not get too used to it and too accustomed to that, to where your baseline energy is so low that it's hard to get any adrenaline or get excited for a game or anything like that? Or is that just not the case when you're playing in front of 20,000 people?
No, I think the preparation, right? Preparation in the off season and how you work eliminates any of the fear or doubt that you may have. At least it did for me, because I was training 2 and 3 times a day before a season. And once I hit supreme confidence where I felt like I was unstoppable, there was nothing could distract me or blind me from, the goals that I wanted to reach. There was nothing. I was set on my individual goals, team goals, and I put too much work in for anything to distract me from that.
Right. That supreme confidence is sort of the pinnacle of preparation, huh?
It's the pinnacle. If you don't have that, there's holes within your game and within your ability to reach your peak success.
How
And I
many
didn't want
guys,
that.
yeah, how many guys would you look at history apart from yourself have had that panic, like that supreme confidence? Because I feel like it's not as many as.
No, no. I mean, the ones that you see that are standing out amongst, all the NBA players now, right? The KDs, Kyries, the Brons, right? Melo, Steph, like them type dudes. There are some guys that are on a talent level, but they don't have the mentality, the mindset.
Right.
Right.
What are some of those traits and that supreme confidence? How do you try to carry that over to your post-playing career? What are some of those key qualities in terms of preparation or supreme confidence that you can carry over, and how do you maintain that? Because I'd love to have that supreme confidence. That sounds great.
Well, for me, I was about what was surrounding me. Like I didn't feel like I wasn't a guy that felt like I could do it by myself. Right. I knew how great I was, but I also know I need these guys to contribute and be at their best for me to be at my best. You understand what I'm saying? Like that's how I approached it. And I got a lot of flack for that because people felt like I was a little bit on the unselfish. I should have did more. But damn, I mean, I need these guys. Yeah, I could have taken more shots when I was in Orlando, absolutely. But I need Pat Garrity to, be confident and knock down open shots when I get double teamed. I need Darrell Armstrong's energy and for him to knock down those shots, right? So I didn't think that it's me, and I don't need these guys. I could do it by myself. So I carry that over until, my post career. I know that in order for me to reach the goals that I want in business, I first need to have smart people around me. That's number one thing. But I'm not a bullshit guy. I don't treat people like shit. I don't tolerate that. So I don't want that around me. You understand? I don't want. We have this thing, with my team when we're talking about, investors, new people coming into my team. This is no bullshit team. Like that's what we don't do. But yeah, and in terms of installing that type of confidence, I know what I can do, what I'm capable of doing, and I know what my team is capable of doing. So collectively, that's where my confidence comes, because I gain it from the people that are around me, that I know if I don't know something, I know I can rely on them. And that helps me stay confident into my ability of being successful, if
Right.
that makes sense.
That does. Everything feeds off one another. And if you can make
Absolutely.
everybody around you super confident, then it'll come back to you. And you are who
Sure.
you surround yourself with. So that makes sense in terms
Yeah.
of, the supreme confidence. It's
Yes,
interesting.
sir.
So where can people support One's basketball, man? I want to watch. I want to, how does one do it?
So, of course, you could keep up with, everything on my Instagram account, oblhoops.com. We have that. My Twitter, tmac_213. Look, we're going to have, at a later date, we're going to announce who's going to be our streaming partner. So we're going to announce that, but it's coming, man. It's all coming together, Buster. I'm excited, bro.
I love it. Well, congratulations on that and everything else. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. It's been a real pleasure. And I'm excited to watch everything expand.
I appreciate you having me on your platform, bro. Appreciate it.
All right. I'll see you.
Salute.